Okay, so today we are going to introduce the interference. Okay, so interference is our first topic. It's from the part of our syllabus. In interference, we will discuss few phenomena. First will be the two source interference. Then second, we will go to the Young's double slit interference. Then what are the coherent sources? What are their properties that we will discuss? And then we will calculate the intensity in double slit experiment as well. Then there are few applications of the interference like thin film interference, air wedges, Newton's ring, and Michelson interferometer. Okay, these are the four applications that from the interference. So first we will understand the principle of it, then we will see the analytical calculation of it, then we will have the application of it. Okay, so this is the complete interference we will discuss. Okay. Fine. So let's come to the two source interference. 1 minute. Okay, so here you can see one of the image. Okay, where you can see the two sources. 1 minute. Let me take my laser pointer. So how the maxima and the minima we will get, where the shadows shows the crest and the valleys, where we will get the maximas. Okay, say there you can imagine there are you have dropped two stone in the water, and such type of the waves will generate, and if it is very close they will form a pattern of interference, and on the screen you will get a dark and bright fringes that we will discuss in the Young's double slit experiment. So Young's double slit experiment is one of the example of two source interference, and there will be a shadow part. So why this shadow part is coming, why this bright part is coming, that we will discuss in details. So when the shadow part is coming, this is the minima of the interference and this is the maxima of the interference. So to go into the detail of two source interference, we will take an example of Young's double slit experiment. This is a very simple one to understand and you also have read about it. But here we are going to discuss again. In the phenomena of interference may be understood by taking off 2 point sources. Okay, S1 and S2. So what is interference? If you say in general example in our daily life, you can see the colors in the soap film, or maybe there is some of the patches on the oil, or the oil is oil patches on which is floating on the water, and you can see there are different colors on the surface. And when you change your eye angle, you can see there is a color change. So this phenomena takes because of the interference pattern. So in 1802, Thomas Young explained this interference phenomena by his double slit experiment. Okay, this is first performed by Thomas Young in 1801 or 1802. Okay, in some books it's said 1801, in some books in 1802. So it doesn't matter, hardly year. So double slit experiment is known as the Young's experiments, and he has used for this experiment as a sunlight as a source. Okay, and in his experiment he allowed sunlight to pass through narrow opening. So you can see over here this is a very narrow opening. So this is the incident wave. Okay, this is a incident parallel waves which is coming out from the very narrow opening S naught or S0 we can call, and then through the two opening S1 and S2, and both are at the equal distance from the S0. Okay, S1 is S naught S2 and S naught S1. These are the equal distance. This is the important part is here because distance is measured. If the distance will be different, then there will be a path difference. We will see what is the path difference and phase difference as well. So what's going on here is it's a kind of a spherical waves. So spherical wave passes from the the waves are coming from the S naught, and these are the spherical waves passes from the S1 and S2 in the space. Okay, and here it will be in the free space. Okay, and where you have put a screen, which is called a photographic screen, which is a fluorescent type of a screen, uh, coated with some of the fluorescent material like a zinc oxide or some other material. So here there are two type of pattern you get, where you said maxima with the orange and blue with the minima. So how it comes? It is called the constructive and destructive interference. So constructive interference will take place at the point when one source crest meet with other crest. Okay. So if you go to here, so at when you are getting a maxima point, so this at maxima point, one source crest is meeting with the other source crest. So the resultant amplitude will be sum of the amplitude, hence the intensity of the light will be maximum, because one crust will interact with the other crust, then the and they will be in the same phase. When in that case amplitude will increase, intensity will, if the amplitude will increase, it has a direct relation with the intensity, so intensity will increase. When the intensity will be maximum, you will have a bright fringe. And another case in the destructive interference, when this this blue shadow is coming, so one crust to another trough, so resultant amplitude will be the difference of amplitude. In that case we will actually differentiate different or subtract the amplitude. If we subtract the amplitude, it will decrease the amplitude, and the amplitude will decrease, the intensity will decrease, then we will have a minimum intensity. So the intersection of waves, which is called the light also, on the screen are, screen which is alternate, right? Bright and dark fringes. Okay. So we will observe the bright and dark fringes on the screen. This is very simplest explanation of the Young's double slit experiment. We will go into depth as well. So let's see another one. What explaining here? So in the case of the maxima, we have a bright fringe, and in the case of a minima, it's not written here, but it's a blue one is the minima. We have a dark fringe here. Okay. So a train of plane light waves is incident on the narrow parallel slits separated by a distance d, which is very less than of lambda. So this is the d. This d is the less than, it's a very less compared to the lambda of the light which is incident on it. Okay. So what is the whatever the light is incident on the source, or on the opening, which is the lambda is very high compared to this distance. So this distance between two sources is very less than lambda. This is the condition you should remember. Okay. D should be very less than lambda. The interference pattern on the screen consists of bright and dark fringes. So this is a simple experiment. This Young's actually introduced with the two sources, and he found out a pattern on a photographic plate. Okay. So the same as I said, maxima and minima interference, that means there is a constructive and destructive interference. So how it comes? If I say there are two waves, you can look at your screen. There are two waves in a same phase. Same phase means it is starting from 0 degree. Okay, it is starting from here. So it's a simple sine wave, and exactly same. Both are identical waves. If this wave 1 and wave 2, if both are identical wave, when you add them, you will have the wave with the greater amplitude. Okay, because the amplitude is added here. When the amplitude is added here, the intensity is increased. If the intensity increase, it is called the constructive interference. On the another side, you can see there is a phase difference. Okay, you can see both waves are having the opposite phases. So if when you add them, they will subtract the amplitude. This is called the destructive interference. So in the case of destructive interference, you will have the minima or the dark fringe. In the case of constructive interference, you will have the maxima or the bright fringe. Let me explain you with the all the written here. So I'm explaining you here, but but parallelly I have given the text also, so that when you will read out by yourself, you will have something to something with you, okay, to understand. When two waves are superposed, then depending on whether the waves are in phase at the crossing point to give a constructive interference. In phase. So it is called in phase or out of phase. So these two waves are in phase, but these two waves are out of phase or are in antiphase at the crossing point. Crossing point means when they are meeting. In the Young's double slit experiment, when they are meeting at the screen. If they are meeting at the in screen, let me go back. Here, when they are meeting at the screen, at that time, if at that time if they are in phase, then they will give you the high intensity, and that will give you the constructive interference or the bright fringe. Okay, and on the other side, if are there anti-phase, then they will be out of phase. The superposition is an instant in time at single location. The amplitude is the largest value of the displacement at a single location. Okay. For a fixed interference pattern, the amplitude at any point is constant. For a fixed or stationary interference pattern, okay, that means a uh, particular wavelength is getting, okay, everything distance is fixed, all the things are constant, then whatever pattern you are getting, when the amplitude will be the constant. But in the diffraction, it will not happen. But in the interference, it will happen. Okay, here we are going to understand the concept of waves or Huygens principle. So what is the Huygens principle? The principle is based on the following assumptions. What are these assumptions? There are three assumptions. Each point on the given wavefront acts as a source of secondary wavelets. Say, if we consider a simple Young's double slit experiment, you can imagine there was a source S0, that was one source. Okay, then you have put another screen in the path of the S0 source, S1 and S2. There were two another source. Okay, so two another source will again work as a source. S1 and S2 will work as a source. Okay, so each point on the given wavefront, if you can see here over here, this is the plane parallel waves are coming, and this red point are having the sources. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Almost 6 sources are here. Okay, so waves are coming out from here. Okay, so this will work as a source. But if you put another sources over here, we will see how it is. They will again work as a secondary wavelet. They will again work as a source. Secondary wavelet from each point travel through space in all direction with velocity of light. Yes, and traveling of the light which is coming out from the source having the speed of light. Okay, and these sources are work as the, because this waves which is coming, which is also coming from some source, maybe a sun. Okay, so this wave is coming from the sun, and when you put five sources here or six sources here, they are coming out from here. So these sources are again behave as a secondary sources. Okay, let's go in a detail. Let's understand it. A surface touching the secondary wavelet tangentially in the forward direction. Now, you can see here in an earlier figure, you can see this is it's a kind of a spherical waves. Okay, it's a kind of a spherical wave. We have taken some parallel waves from the sun. Okay, and then we have put a source here. After putting the source here, you get the spherical waves. Now come to these spherical waves in the second slide. This is a kind of spherical waves here. So let's understand it, how the spherical waves is behave. So I want to actually demonstrate the Huygens principle here. What Huygens says, we consider the propagation of spherical wavefront. This is the spherical wavefront, okay, or a plane wavefront, or either you can take a plane wavefront. There are two type of a wavefront, either spherical or plane wavefront. In an isotropic media, isotropic means uniform media, which are emerging from a source of light as. This is a light as. So from this light, either we are getting a spherical wavefront or either we are getting a parallel wavefront. Both type of example we have taken it here. Okay. Now, at any time, now we are considering at any time, suppose AB, this AB, this is the AB, is a section of the primary wavefront. This AB is the section of a primary wavefront drawn from the source S. Now to find the position of wavefront, we want to find out the position of wavefront after a time interval t. So we have taken a point 1, 2, 3, 4 on a primary wavefront. This AB is the primary wavefront. We have taken the point here 1, 2, 3, 4, and what we want to calculate, we want to find out the position of wavefront at time t, and we knows the wavefront are coming from any source having the speed of light. So speed of light is c and time is t. Okay, so we have taken 1, 2, 3 on the primary wavefront AB. Fine, but as per Huygens principle, what the Huygens principle says, these points act as a source of secondary wavelet. These point, this 1, 2, 3, 4, all these point, you know what is mean by that? This point will work as a secondary wavelet. That means this point is also work as a source. There will be another waves will coming out from here. Okay, like this, like this. So if we are taking each point as a center. Okay, this is the one point we have taken, one point as a center, and we draw a sphere. We can draw a sphere. What is the radii of this sphere? If the time is t and velocity is c, what is the radii? Can anybody tells me?
CT.
Very good.
CT.
The sphere of the radii is ct, where the c is the speed of light and at time t. So these spherical surfaces represent the position of secondary wavelets at time t. What did we do? Further we draw a surface A1 B1. This sorry. ओके यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा मिस्टेक हो गया है. This is B1. Let me correct it here. Okay. This is B1. So we draw here. Okay. We draw a surface A1 B1, and this is A2, B2. Okay, so we draw a surface A1, B1 that touches tangentially all the secondary wavelets. So it is touching tangentially. Okay, like here, let me tell you the tangential here. This is a kind of a tangential. This is a kind of a tangential. So A1, B1 touches tangentially all these secondary wavelet in the forward direction. Okay, so these surfaces A1, B1 is the secondary wavefront. So you can imagine this is another a source. From there, the waves will come out like this. And there is another surface we draw A2, B2, but it is in a backward direction. So it will not called a secondary wavefront. Okay, because there is no backward flow of the energy. Energy flow in the forward direction or during the propagation of light waves. Fine. So this is the Huygens principle. So I also mentioned here a surface touching the secondary wavelet tangentially in the forward direction at any given point time construct the new wavefront at the instant. This is known as the secondary wavefront. So these points where we have drawn the tangent, these points, to consider this point we draw the circle and the surface we have drawn A1, B1, and we got this tangent points. These are the secondary wavelets. It will work as a secondary wavelets. Similarly, this thing will happen here like this. If we have taken a parallel waves, not spherical waves, in the parallel waves also we will have a secondary wavefront. You can draw this, okay?
Ma'am, it will be actually cylindrical in shape, wavefront will be cylindrical in shape if a line source is there.
This is the spherical, and which one? This one?
And B1, if there is a line source, then the wavefront will be cylindrical.
B1, capital B.
B,
This B1 you are talking about?
ma'am, B, small
Of
b, in
small b.
small
Yes,
bk.
yes. So it's kind of a parallel waves also. Okay. So either you can say plane wavefront. It is called plane wavefront. Either it is you are imagine it is cylindrical form. But in the earlier figure also I show you can see this here. This is
Yes,
the plane wavefront. है ना? When you put a source over here in the path of the plane wavefront, you will get the secondary wavefronts. Okay, so this
yes.
is called a plane wavefront, not exactly the cylindrical wavefront. It's a plane wavefront in our language, in an optics language. Okay.
Okay.
Am I clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. I know you all have done this, so we are just revising. Okay. Let's go next to the phase difference and the path difference. Very simple again, very simple concept. See guys, I should tell you one thing here. uh, Whatever we are reading right now, we are understanding right now, you should keep in mind the concept of it. Okay, when the phase, what is the phase difference, what is the path difference, say what is the coherent source, what is the constructive interference, what are the destructive interference. The question can be conceptual. Okay, so पिक्चर शुड बी क्लियर इन योर माइंड. आपसे डायरेक्ट डेफिनेशन नहीं पूछी जाएगी, ओके, कि डिफाइन इट और डिफाइन दैट, बट it can be, twisted questions. You should understand, yes, this can be called a constructive interference if phase difference is same. Okay, so ये इस तरीके से you should understand the concept of it. Okay, so to understand the phase difference, two waves that have the same frequency, this is again an important part over here. Frequency is same. Two waves that have the same frequency and the different phases are known as to have the phase difference and are said to be out of phase with each other. And in phase difference is 180 degree, then the two waves are said to be anti-phase. And if it is 0 degree, then they are in phase. If phase difference is 180 degree, they will call anti-phase. If phase difference is 0 degree, they will call in phase. Out of phase, or either you will call out of phase or anti-phase, or you will call anti-phase or in phase. Let's understand with these figures. You may draw a line here. I'll try with this pen. Okay. So you can see both the waves are in phase. The angle is same. With the same angle, they are starting. Okay, like this. Angle is 0 degree here. So both the waveforms are in a perfect steps with each other. Exactly same. And also the amplitude is same. Frequencies, amplitude can be different, but important is the phase angle. Angle should be same. So all peaks and trough and throw line up with each other. The waves have the same wavelength and the amplitude. But you can see in the another figure here, there is a phase shift of 90 degree. It is started from A started from here and B is started from here. A is ahead of B. There is a, or let me give you the antiphase exactly. This one. This one is the exact example of the antiphase. One A is starting from this point, okay, and the B is exactly 180 degree difference. It will start from here. So the phase shift between both the waves will be 180 degree. And the A and B waveforms are the mirror image of each other. This is not a matter of interest, the mirror image. Matter of interest is the phase shift. How much is the phase difference? So two waves which have the same frequency but have a different phase. Frequency can be same, amplitude can be same, this amplitude, say this distance, the maximum amplitude here and the maximum amplitude here, it can be same. Okay, say this is y, this is y. The amplitude can be same, but the angle is different. So both these waves are called in antiphase, okay, but these waves are called in phase. When both the waves will meet at a point, they will give you the constructive interference and they will give you the destructive interference. This is another point. Okay, so this was the phase difference. Another concept is come in the interference is the path difference. Okay, so look at this figure very carefully. In one figure, the path difference is 0. In another figure, the path difference is lambda by 2. The two wave crusts are traveling a different distance from their sources, be in such a way that the crust meets with a crust. So if the path difference, that means S1, S2, they are two sources and P is some point on the screen. If the two waves are coming from the equal distance, Distance means this distance. If S1 is traveling this distance, say this distance is D, and this is again the same D. If both the distance at point P is same, that means path difference is 0. You don't have any, or we should understand with the length in a general language. In optics language, we called it path difference, but in general language, yes, the distance or the length or the distance it is traveling from source S1 to point P is the same, or S2 to point P is same. So S1 P is equals to S2 P is equals to D. Then the path difference will be 0. But there is a path difference of lambda by 2. Can anybody explain me why it is lambda by 2? You can see the point over here, because here crust is matching with the crust, but here there is something at point
Ma'am,
P.
by dropping a perpendicular from S2 on S1, we can find out that length that is extra, that will come to be lambda by 2.
Why it is lambda by 2?
Mm, Ma'am, this we will calculate by Young's experiment by equating d sine theta, then like that
Oh,
we do.
Yes,
okay, okay.
d sine
Oh,
theta equal to
Then d
10
tan
lambda.
theta, it becomes approximately if uh, d is much less than lambda, then we further proceed.
okay, yes, yes, very much right. And can you see any difference in the both the waves here?
Yes, ma'am. The crest is
Yes,
matching
ma'am.
through.
Yes, yes, please. Tell me,
Interest.
tell me. Hmm. What is meeting at the point P? Both the crust is here or not? Or one trough on one crust? Or there is a phase difference here?
Ma'am, it's neither crest or nor trough,
Uh, hmm.
because it is in middle of that crest and trough.
Okay, but is there is
Yes, ma'am.
huh,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So that's we will understand here. So for this, we will go into the depth. We will calculate the path difference numerically as well. Here we are just understanding the concept of it, because whatever terminology we are going to use, that should be clear. So here, for this particular location on the pattern, the difference in distance travel is known as path difference. Okay, so because S1 S2P, should I write it here? I guess so. S1P is not equals to S2P. Who is traveling more?
Ma'am,
S1.
S1 is
S1.
traveling more.
Finished.
S1P.
S1.
Yes.
S1.
So we will get the path difference from here. Okay, that we will calculate when we will calculate the intensity of wave. We will calculate it as well. Here we are going to calculate the relationship between path difference and phase difference. Okay, so there is a relation. More generally, the link between a path difference, if the path difference is a delta x, this is the path difference between the two waves, because S1P is traveling more than the S2P. So there will be a path difference delta x, and the phase difference in radian, say it is in a radian, delta phi. So we can give a formula, delta phi is equals to 2 pi by lambda delta x, where lambda is the wavelength of the wave in the medium. This means for a wave moving, if If moving in a free space, that's fine. But if the wave is moving in any medium, then refractive index will also multiply with this. Okay, so this will be 2 pi n. Lambda naught will be the wavelength in the vacuum. So you can also note down this formula here. Okay, so now let's, should I have, okay, it's already 10:16. I think I just want, okay, in the next class, maybe tomorrow, we will calculate numerically this formula. Okay, the relationship between path difference and phase difference. Take 1 minute. Any doubt till here? You can ask. In the tomorrow class, what we will do, we will actually calculate the relationship numerically between path difference and phase difference. Then we will discuss the coherent sources and some analytical treatment of interference we will do.
Ma'am, can you explain phase difference again? Part difference I understood.
Phase difference again?
Yeah, just brief it, ma'am.
Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute. Let me go back. This one? 1 minute.
Ma'am, your mic is on mute.
Okay. Uh, I didn't know that. Fine. Here I'm going to draw a wave because I'm going to tell you the exact phase difference, how it happens. Now, you know, if I take this point, from this point to this point, this is lambda. It is a complete wave or not? This will start from here and end it from here. Okay. This is lambda, right? If this is lambda, should I say till here, this is lambda by 2. And this is lambda by 2. And with the phase, we can say this is 180 degree. This is pi and this will be 2 pi.
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? अब मेरे पास जगह थोड़ी यहाँ कम है. मैं इसके बाद एक फिगर यहाँ ऊपर ड्रॉ करती हूँ. Okay. Now look at here. I have started from here and this pi radian. Now I am starting my another wave like a simple sine wave here. So can you tell me what is the phase difference between this wave and this wave? Because it is started from here. So if we compare wave 1 and wave 2, I should say there is a phase difference of 180 degree because this is pi here, this is 2 pi, and this will complete a one wave from here to here, lambda. Okay. Now what is phase difference? Phase difference is what? Here with these two waves, I am explaining you the antiphase phenomena because both the waves are having the opposite phase of pi radian. So this is having 180 degree phase difference. And here I said two waves that have the same frequency and the different phases are known to have a phase difference. Same frequency. Frequency is same. Look at the figure 1. Frequency is same, amplitude is same. Then, but if they have a different phases, so they have a same phases, then they will call in phase. But frequency is same in here, amplitude is same, this amplitude is same, but they have a difference of phase of pi difference. Okay, because 180 degree का यहाँ पे difference है, so they will call out of phase or anti phase.
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
है ना?
Got the difference. Yeah.
है ना? So okay, so अगर आप और if you take a more example here, so here is the difference is 90 degree. इस तरीके से we can understand. So I was not going into complicated state. I have just simply tell you these are in phases because they are following the same angle, but they are following the pi difference here. So that means they have a out of phase. So these waves, if both the waves will come, so let me continue here. Yes, so this wave is ending here and this wave is ending here. When they will meet, they will give you the destructive interference. Because यहाँ पे इनके दोनों के एम्पलीट्यूड जो हैं वो सब्सट्रैक्ट होंगे क्योंकि अपोजिट है, ये नेगेटिव साइड में है, ये पॉजिटिव साइड में है. दोनों के एम्पलीट्यूड इस पॉइंट पे आके सब्सट्रैक्ट हो जाएंगे तो आपको मिनिमा मिलेगा. पर ये दोनों सेम फेज में है यहाँ पे. ये दोनों एक पॉइंट पे मिलेंगे तो जब इस एक पॉइंट पे मिलेंगे तो यहाँ पे आपको जो इंटेंसिटी मिलेगी वो दोनों के एम्पलीट्यूड एडिशन हो जाएंगे. बोथ आर इन सेम फेज एंड सेम एम्पलीट्यूड. यहाँ आपको मैक्सिमा मिलेगा और यहाँ आपको मिनिमा मिलेगा. आई होप यू गॉट माई पॉइंट, है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके, थैंक यू. चलिए, so tomorrow we will calculate the numeric analytical treatment of it, and there are some more terms that are going to use coherent sources, and then we will calculate coherent sources, coherent length, and then coherence length, and then we will calculate the intensity of double slit experiment. So this is all double slit experiment is going on. We are just understanding the terminology what we are using throughout the optics syllabus. Okay, all right, everyone. Any questions? Let me see the chat box. Anything is here? I want to join the group too. Satvik Jain. Satvik, this is your first class, right? Satvik, unmute yourself. Okay, he's not there. Okay, fine. Okay, guys, take care. We'll meet tomorrow again on the same time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Thank you.